So today I'll be exploring Gitpod, which is basically an automated dev environment, and this is kind of my first impressions on the product itself. I haven't tried it out yet, so we'll be setting up an account and go through the interface, look at the pricing, and also try to use it with any of the projects that I'm currently doing. So yeah, let's dive right into the video. So here I have the gitpod.io, which is the home page, and you can see the headline says always ready to code. It also says spin up fresh automated dev environments for each task in the cloud in seconds. So I know it's container based and it gives you a development environment that you can utilize on any machine in the cloud. So basically, let's say you have a pretty good PC at home, but your laptop is kind of not that great, you would spin up a dev environment in Gitpod that you can utilize not only at home, but when you're out using your laptop, you should be able to utilize that dev environment, which is properly configured with the resources. So yeah, pretty excited to try it out. And if we go look at some other features, so remote development without friction. Gitpod continuously builds your Git branches like a CI server so that you can start coding right away. No more waiting for dependencies to download and builds to finish. Nice. Works on my machine and yours. So yeah, as I said, because it's like you can, I think, also have a configuration that you can put in, and let's say there's someone else who wants to look into my dev environment, I can give them that configuration and it would build the exact same environment in Gitpod in the cloud. So if it works on my machine, it should on yours because we'll be using those configurations. Your environment, your tools, your craft. So, it can also work on desktop. Nice. I was only aware, like, I only saw people using it in the browser, and I'm really interested to try it out on my iPad. So we'll see. I'll not be covering that in this video, but yeah, let's click on try now and let's try to log in with my GitHub account here. Okay, so it authenticated. I don't have any workspaces. As you can see, I think it's all the default settings. So on the free plan, you get public and private repositories. You get 4 parallel workspaces. So you have a 30-minute timeout. So you can only access your dev environment for 30 minutes in one go. I think that's what it means. And then personal is also free. I don't know. Can't click on it. I have to click on upgrade. Okay. So you can have team plans, you can have environment variables, you can have integrations. So right now I have the GitHub account associated to my Gitpod. Preferences. So you can also pick, if you want to choose the insiders build for VSCode, you can also pick the theme, which is pretty good. So yeah, let's go to projects and then add a project to enable and manage pre-builds. Manage recent and stop work. So prefix any Git repository URL with gitpod.io. So if you click on new workspace, it gives you examples. So you already have like pre-built templates that you can use. So let's pick the template Python Flask here just to take a look. So right now it's pulling the container image, as you can see. So as I said, it's container based development environments. And let's see, and I think this is your like custom URL that you can access your workspace with. So you can see it's VS Code basically in your browser, and you have all your files here, and you get all those good prompts that you get on VS Code when you don't have extensions installed. So we'll get install Python, select Python interpreter. Sure, we'll go with 3.8.12. And then you also have a URL to look at the live app, which is pretty neat. So if I go to this, that's nice. So you could basically have your projects kind of running locally in your Gitpod environment, but you would get a URL that you can toss around to people to say, hey, look at my new project. Looks like it's a blog app. Yep. So that was pretty fast, I would say. And then I want to try the... So yeah, it's pretty basic to what VS Code is. And then you have Gitpod here. So let's go and stop our workspace and go back to our dashboard. And then I saw something about you can have gitpod.io in front of a Git repo or GitHub repo. So let's go to I'll pick my notes app. So let's go to Cloud Notes app, I think it is. No, it's just Cloud Notes. Okay, yeah. And if I go here and type in gitpod.io, that is pretty neat, I would say. So you just have to type gitpod.io in front of your repo's URL, and it should generate a workspace. That is pretty good. So yeah, so you can see all my Cloud Notes markdown files here right in the browser. And you can also open this workspace in VS Code desktop. Sure, why not? Oh, so it says you need to install the extension Gitpod. Okay. I know you cannot see it. It's on my other screen, but it's installing the Gitpod extension and will allow for it to talk to our desktop VS Code. Now I'll bring my VS Code here. As you can see, it's saying setting up SSH host to whatever the custom URL for that workspace we got, which is orange dash something. You can see it's also loading here. Select the platform. Sure, let's go with Linux. Continue. Yep. Yes, I trust. That is pretty neat, I would say. So you have VS Code on desktop running on the Gitpod container. So if I go to terminal, you should see, yeah, the Gitpod workspace instead of like my local terminal, which should have been PowerShell. And you can also run it in browser, which is pretty neat, I would say that. So yeah, I think for the first impressions, it's a pretty good tool, especially with like free plan. Even though you have that 30-minute timeout, I could still see it being a pretty good tool if you really have like an underpowered laptop or an iPad. So yeah, the next thing I would do is get on my iPad and try that. But yeah, for this video, I was only gonna make like my first impressions on how it works. So yeah, it's pretty neat. And with that, I would like to end this video. And also, I wanted to mention I recently upgraded to Windows 11, and it's been a pretty good experience so far. The update itself was, I would say it took some time, but I was like really nervous. I've ran into some issues in the past while upgrading from like Windows 7 to 10, where the update died in between. So yeah, the experience itself was smooth, but it took some time, which I think is like explainable. But yeah, that is the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, take care.